In the past 4 years at Buena Vista University, the campus's athletic department has seen widespread change. A new athletic director, a new head athletic trainer, and his own staff. In 4 years, the director of athletic performance position has turned over twice. In fact, 12 new entire coaching staffs out of the 17 on campus have been changed in the past 5 years. That's a staggering 70%. Two of the newest faces to enter the basketball programs this year at Buena Vista are men's head coach Todd Lawrenson and women's head coach Dana Christian, both joining the BVU athletic staff in early 2018. The men's team under Lawrenson had a disappointing start in their first year under new leadership, going 11-14. Meanwhile, Christian and the women were more of the same story, finishing at 7-18 overall. Despite the fact that their first seasons didn't go as expected, the young team seemed to show much promise under their new leadership. Then, at the close of their seasons, both coaches announced their respective resignations to the surprise of their players. Neither coach made it a full year here at BVU. While our reporters attempted to contact both Lawrenson and Christian for comment, they were unavailable. Connor Winkleman, a standout senior guard of the men's team, noted the disruption that the loss of 2 head coaches in his 4 years at BV has caused.
Connor Winkleman, I'm a senior finance major. I've been here for 4 years. I mean, it doesn't surprise me completely, but in a way, from just going 1 year and then leaving like a snap of a finger, it was surprising, yeah. Initially, it was a little shocked, but a different coach would probably fit our program and our culture better.
Though Winkleman and much of the team may agree that Lawrenson may not have been the best fit for the program in his initial year, some members disagree. Losing the coach who had recruited them, a handful of members of the men's and women's basketball squads have left the programs at the conclusion of their seasons, adding on to BVU's low retention as of late. Just last year, a proposal to the NCAA's transfer rules gained steam, which would have allowed student athletes to leave their current college without restriction if their head coach left during their time at the university, further adding on to the complications of coaches departing prematurely.
It does kind of disrupt what's going on. And if a coach leaves, they do a lot of the scheduling for weights and stuff and pick up ball and all that for like off-season workouts and stuff. And if they're gone, you need to look at one of the seniors or just a leader on the team to get that figured out and meet with, the strength and conditioning coach and all that. So I think just scheduling and figuring things out in the off-season is the toughest challenge.
Students and athletes, much like Connor, have questioned what feels like high turnover, disruption, and unpredictability in a variety of programs here at Buena Vista. We asked Assistant Athletic Director Amy Mayer as to what's been causing the abnormal amount of lost coaches lately and what can be done to fix it.
Amy Mayer, Assistant Director of Athletics, Senior Women Administrator, and I have been here for 5 years. I think turnover is a natural part of intercollegiate athletics at any level. I think you see it everywhere. I don't think that we're any different than some of our counterparts. It seems to somewhat fall in kind of like a cyclical pattern. I think sometimes you'll see some uptick in turnover, and then you'll have years where you have 1, 2, none. And coincidental. Why that happens, I don't think there's any overarching reason why it tends to fall that way. Every situation is unique and personal. But when I was hired here, there were double-digit new staff members on our staff when I started 5 years ago. So again, it just kind of seems to congregate that way, but I don't think this is anything out of the norm.
With so many recent hires already looking to make their marks, Mayor and Athletic Director Jack Denholm evaluate every coaching staff's performances each year through a number of criteria.
I think there's a lot that goes into it other than just the wins and losses. Obviously, we want to be successful, we want to win, and that's important, but there's so much more that goes into how we quantify successful programs. First and foremost, I think we want to be providing our student athletes a positive experience. But there's definitely ways that we can provide really great opportunities and experiences for our athletes. And so we want to make sure that we're doing that even in down years, both, on the playing field and off, and really setting them up for their future success.
We also asked Mayor for examples of the coaches who have been setting the standard so far for the athletic department here at BVU.
A couple of our veteran coaches would be Edie, Berneking, Mulring. Coach Edie has been here. He'd be our longest tenured coach here, and he has had an enormous amount of success. And I think it really speaks to the culture that he's able to build amongst his team. And, he's got a large roster for a baseball team, and how he is able to keep those guys invested in the program, and even the ones that, aren't seeing the playing field are still super supportive, and they're still super invested in the program. And it comes from, his leadership. And granted, he's, I think the longer you do it, the easier, it kind of gets. And so for some of our newer coaches, I'm excited. I'm excited for the new coaches that we have, because I think that they have those ideas on how they're going to do it themselves.
Culture. Culture is the word repeated by Mayor that has led to success for the BVU baseball team with rock-solid consistency. The stalwart face heading the team for the past 2 decades is the previously mentioned Steve Edie. Edie, coming off of one of his most successful seasons in recent years where the baseball team won the conference tournament in Cedar Rapids, has seen much success during his time at BV, including 3 IAC/ARC championships and a bid to the College World Series.
I'm Steve Edie. I'm the head baseball coach, and I am just finishing my 19th season here. Well, I think players, have to be here for more than just baseball, so we have to stand for something that's more than about winning games and competing on a field. It's about being part of something that's, that's bigger than just the sport. So, I think over time it needs to resemble what the coach truly believes in, and so that there is a level of expectation once a player joins the program that they need to do things the right way to fit your culture, so that everybody's on board and heading in the same direction. Team chemistry doesn't ensure that you're going to have a great year, wins and losses wise, but it has to be in place in order to give you a chance to do that. I think there's a sense of awareness that culture has to be put in place and implemented. And now I'm not saying you can implement a culture in 1 year or 2 years, but I see the development of it, and I'm excited for them. And I know that in just a couple of years, that if they just give it a little bit of patience and trust in what they're doing, that good days are ahead for a lot of our sports programs.
But Edie has also seen rough years come and go. After 5 losing seasons in his first 6 at the helm of the baseball team, Edie turned things around for the program while developing a strong culture of his own within the squad.
It's nothing that has to do with what's going on with the university. I mean, I think everybody's excited about the future of our university and the direction that President Merchant's giving us. I mean, it's a great time to be here. I think there's new programs in place that's going to add energy and other options for potential new students to come here, and everybody trusts what the academic programs and how successful our graduates are. So the process is there. We're doing good things on our campus, and so people just have to be patient, maybe a little bit, maybe more than they have. I mean, it took 8 years for our baseball program to win a title. We started from ground zero, and it takes time.
Alongside Edie, Grant Mulring is the head of the football program, and Mandy Berneking, head of the softball program, share the same vision of creating strong cultures amongst their squads. Both have already done well in their relatively short time at Buena Vista and reiterate Edie's focus of a sense of community.
My name's Grant Mulring. I'm the head football coach. I've been at BVU for a little over 2 years now.
Mandy Berneking, I'm the head softball coach, and I have been here for 5 years. That man has been a great mentor to me, and along with VH when he was here as well, those two have really, really helped curve my philosophy as a coach, and it's ever growing. My philosophy is definitely not set in stone, and there's certain things that I am continually working on as a young coach, but Coach Edie and Coach Van Haften have played a huge, huge, huge role and who I've become and who this program has become. I bounce ideas off of Coach Edie every day, and we talk about a lot of the different things that he does in his program. And it's kind of funny because males and females are a little different. So there are certain things that are always going to be different between our programs. But at the same time, he's been a staple for our success for sure.
Our philosophy is that culture will beat talent. We've played teams that have had more talent than us and able to beat a couple of them. But we've played teams that I know that we're more talented than, that have had a better culture within their program, and they've been more disciplined and executed better. So I know that it's first and foremost, culture will beat talent, so we're focusing on that a lot this offseason.
Though they focus on their own teams, every coach at BV works together to build a school-wide culture and sense of community, which has positive effects across the board.
How we work together, other than just shooting the crap every day in the office, I mean, we get along really well. We can certainly give each other crap, and we talk a lot. We poke each other's, we poke our heads in each other's office a lot, and there's just a lot of things that we can do together to support one another. And we come to each other's games, and I don't know, we just support each other all around. And I think that that's really kind of a big factor.
We have an overall department culture, and I think we do some really, really great things on that end, and that's why I love my job, and I'm happy to be here and excited about who I get to work with.
Realizing that coaches departing mid-tenure can negatively impact on-field performances for teams, Edie and Mulring have their sights set on improvement in coming seasons alongside a hungry-to-win athletics department.
I think it's the same situation with kids that come to BVU. I think you have to be the right fit. I think coaches are a little bit more impatient. I think for myself, I know that it was a 3 to 4 to 5 year process to rebuild this program, so I'm trying to stay the course, and I plan on being here a long time. I think other coaches are kind of looking for their next stepping stone, and unfortunately that's what small colleges end up being sometimes for successful coaches. So hopefully we got the right coaches in here right now that are bought into BVU, bought into the university's mission, bought into the athletic department mission, and I think you're going to see some successes.
We are trending in the right direction. Are we where we want to be? Absolutely not. Not one coach is satisfied with where we're at as an entirety, but we are pulling for each other. We are working hard. I've seen the work being done on a daily basis to improve not only our culture of the current programs, but trying to bring in more talented athletes to help us win on the field. So yeah, we are excited about where we're going, but we also are definitely not satisfied with the results that we've been putting out right now.
As the page turns to a new chapter of Beaver Athletics, Mayor, Edie, Mulring, and Berneking are excited as they look to the future with new coaches already announced to take over the open roles.
Well, I think what we're doing right now, and I think who we've become right now, the camaraderie across the department and the camaraderie across all the coaches, I think that has been a big step in the right direction. It's hard to leave when you know that you're being cared about and that you care about somebody else. And so it makes it a lot more difficult to leave when you feel like you have a staple here and when you feel like you have really good resources and a really good support system. And so the things that we've been doing lately as far as across campus, not just in the department, but the support that we have around here is going to keep coaches here a lot longer than maybe what we had done in the past. So I think we're in the right direction with it for sure.
No, I think BVU is a great place. I think the future is rising. I think, as you look across the board, a lot of young rosters, a lot of young talent. It's important that kids stick it out. Kids see the patience in things. Even with the coaching changes, stay the course, and you'll be rewarded in the end.